Yeah, eat me turkey dinosaurs. Welcome back to another Coffee Jam build-off. This time we're starting with a Skyline, but I'm not going to keep it standard, obviously. I'm going to go a bit cyberpunk with it. And part of that process is going to start with 3D scanning the body. Now, this is the first time I've used this 3D scanner. Now, I didn't have enough light in the scene, and I hadn't calibrated the camera, so as you can see, came out a bit jank. So starting with some mood boards here, I decided to go with like a Khyzyl sort of vibe, and no Bōsōzoku. You know, keeping along the cyberpunk theme, I figured a wide body drift pig would be quite cool. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth with the 3D modelling stuff. I just figured I would show you a little bit how it's done, and you know, just like that, everything appears. The great thing about modelling for resin 3D printers in particular is you don't need to worry about overlapping objects and edge flow and stuff like that. It just pretty much does what you want it to do. Starting with the body kit, I wanted to really follow the original lines of the Skyline here, so you can sort of see how I'm trying to envisage that and just blocking out basic shapes to get the silhouette how I want it. Once I've done that, just go in and start tweaking the shape and using things like lattice volumes or FFD, depending on what software you're working in, helps to keep like an organic flow to it and just, you know, makes it look right, makes it feel right. At this point, I figured having like, I don't know, some sticking out wheel arches might look quite cool, and I'm just rotating around trying to get a feel for it, and I don't know, I'm just not digging it. What do you think? Let us know. Well, kind of pointless because software crashed and I lost everything. So, starting again. Again, trying to follow that sort of body line of the Skyline and then emphasizing it with the wide body. And I'm just using those lattice volumes or FFDs to sort of tweak the shape and get it really how I want it. And then when you're done, just, you know, finish everything else and then rotate it around again, make sure it works. So in the 3D slicing software, it's really good to lay your stuff out at like a 45-degree angle or something similar, just to try and reduce the print lines and to give it a little bit more structural support. Now, when you're working with such a full build plate, it's always good to try and create a gap between that bottom raft so the resin has somewhere to flow out when the build plate's lifting off the FAP sheet, and it just gives it somewhere to disperse rather than trapping it in there. And once you're happy with everything, just, you know, slice it up. Even gives you a cost sheet. Look at that magic. I had some toxic slime green left over, some 3D prints, so whack them on, and just like that they're finished. And of course, removing support material is really easy one-handed while you're trying to film it. Just like that. And then stick it into cure just to harden it off there so it's not, you know, toxic anymore. Oh, animation degree coming in really useful there. So just give it a quick test fit, make sure everything looks right, and then by the magic of editing, we've got some 3D printed body kit. Now you'll notice these little bobbles from the support material because I used a medium support since the body kit's so thin. And I'm just going to file off these bits that you can sort of see overhanging on the edges and in the wheel arch. These files are actually JDM as well, you know. Got them from Mighty Car Mods when they did an offer. Once you've done that, just give it a very, very careful sand down, like that. You ever feel like you're being watched? Now with the free-range chicken giving us eyeballs, we're gonna go ahead and glue everything together. And you know, cut off bits that are gonna get in the way of that process, like the Skyline badge. Losing all of the purity. Just like that. It's all done. I don't know why I did that. So my really posh paintboard. Figured I would give it a coat of high build primer because that's all I had in. Kinda like the colour though. It's like cat yellow. But I forgot to fill the door handle cap. So we should probably fill those caps. I really do like that colour though. Very, very caterpillar yellow. Kinda wish I'd left it that colour. Well, that doesn't look weird. I think milliput's meant to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, so I'm just cutting off a chunk. Cutting off a chunk. I've had this milliput lying around for ages, because I really hate it, so I don't tend to use it. I can't imagine why I hate it. It's just, the texture's just so wonderful. But if you add a bit of water, it's not too bad, it smooths out alright. You just gotta let it sit for a little bit. If you haven't got any of these really cheapy clay modelling tools, by the way, get yourself some. They are so useful. At this point, I really wish I'd gone back and filled the front door handles as well, but instead I got distracted by the milliput and just started making random crap, because, you know, it's just what you do. Lovely. So back to painting once more. All filled in. I thought I had some proper automotive satin black. Turns out I just had plastic coat. I really regret the choice to paint it satin black. Partly because the plastic coat reacted with the primer. So that was fun. So I scraped it off, naturally. Best I could anyway, give it a sand back and painted it again. Also, my chair collapsed while I was filming, just because, you know. 3 paint jobs later and we have a satin black car. You might be wondering why 3. Well, the second time I painted it, after the disaster, it started raining. And I got rain on it. And rain and wet paint, they don't mix. So I was quite annoyed at this point, so I just decided to start dry brushing because dry brush. I should have some dry brush music. Bit of burnt umber, so we can add some little sort of rust areas in. You know, I'm figuring this is a bit of a futuristic skyline. this point, I'm really regretting the black paint because I've pretty much lost all of the detail in the body kit. So feel free to let me know in the comments what colour you would have painted it. Chances are, I will agree with you. I tend to use these pigment colours from Culture Hustle in my resin, like epoxy resin mixes, and it works really well. It's a really vibrant colour. Oh, got a bit of crap on us. But when it comes to mixing them up with paint, I didn't know what I was doing. So I just made a mess, which worked well. So I'll start again with some acrylic medium, see if that would work any better. A little bit, maybe. So I kind of used that unholy mustardy mess with some paint, and you know, it kind of did the job. I just painted some yellow highlights on some bits and pieces that I thought might look cool. And then my LED ran out of charge. I decided to follow the JDM theme since it was a JDM build-off and add some Japanese numbers, or at least I think they're Japanese numbers, to the door. Feel free to let me know if they're not. Because Google does lie to you. And if you're wondering what that powder is, it's actually glow powder from Culture Hustle. It's called Lit, and it is amazing. Decided to take a break and start to construct everything. At this point, by the way, I'm like 1 day away from the build-off deadline because I kind of just left it all to the last minute, as you do. So I suppose it's only fair that we have a bit of dry brush music, you know. And I'm just trying to give that sort of burnt, faded paint look to the roof. I wanted it to be really heavily sunburnt with it being a JDM car. I figured I'll give a bit to the bonnet as well. Now I copied off Bill Making Stuff again and mixed up some white spirits and some oil paint to give me an oil black wash, just to see how it worked, and it was quite nice. It was good. It dries a bit more than that, you know. So now that it's dry, I want to go in and start adding some more details, and this window rubber, I want it to look really black, like blacker than black. So, Culture Hustle again, got some black 3.0 paint. I've used quite a lot of it, not much left. And this is a little example of how black the paint is. I've got a torch shining on this, and let me know in the comments if you can actually tell what it is. I mean, it's like, how black do you actually want this stuff to be? No! No! No free range chicken today! So let's get some blacker than black paint on.
how much more black could this be? And the answer is none.
Yeah, thanks Nigel. Sorry about that. So now that we've painted all the black on there, it's looking pretty decent. When it comes to the grill, I kind of want to mix it between the ones that came in the kit, which is really cool that it had all of these, but you know, decisions. I'm definitely going to use this one, but I kind of want to get rid of that side and maybe have like an open light. I haven't decided whether I'm going to put like an actual light in or whether to put like an air cleaner coming through, like a cone filter or something. So we're going to get rid of this side really carefully. Never to be found again. Just like that, done. And I figured, you know, we'll tart up the tyres a bit. So rubbing them over with a fine sandpaper really just helps bring them out. So, dry brush music indicates that it's dry brush time. Now this bit looks like it should have a battery in it, and the plus and minus give it away. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, maybe a bit smaller. Yeah, that's better. And some LEDs. That works. I'm not going to tell you how many of those I blew up trying to use the 9-volt battery. Turns out the 3-volt. So, there you go. I ran the LED wires under the interior, and while all of this was drying, I kind of just started gluing it together. Yep. Original idea was to use this momentary switch that you can see covering the prop shaft there, but it kind of broke after the second use. Hey, it's Andy Henry. He's really good at giving a handy. Stripping these little wires was really easy, and I totally didn't cut them in half, loads. Not at all. I could have went and got my soldering iron out, but it's huge, and you know, it probably would have just melted straight through these, so I decided to see how conductive modelling glue is, and apparently it is. So there you go, you can thank me later. Andy Henry agrees. He likes being handy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This front splitter fell off more times than I can count. Literally every time I touched the damn car. Now this side one didn't, this side one did. Didn't have enough gription. Andy Henry came in to help, but you know, got an arm off. These LEDs were really easy to get into place. You just get your tweezers and you know, push them back into the hole there. Just stay in there. You little, get in there. Just like that. Now you'll notice the wire coming out the front there. That's because the momentary switch broke and I wired another one in and it broke again. I was really unhappy with the fact that the body kit was kind of getting lost in the black paint. So I went in and put some UV paint on just to highlight the edges. And a dry brush, but hey, where's the dry brush music? There it is. Good Martin. Now when you're dry brushing, go, downward, so you're replicating like sun rays, like where the sun would hit the car or object, whatever it is you're doing. It just helps give those fake highlights, At this point I wanted the glass to look a bit sort of used rather than clean, because this drift pig hasn't been looked after. So I tried stippling it on first and then just slapped it on with a brush and stippled it back off, which worked a load better. And you'll notice I'm following the window wiper pattern just so, details, makes it look proper and used, realistic. And just chuck a black wash back over it just to help bring out those details a bit more. I really like the black wash, so I just went back in and whacked it everywhere, really. And there we go. Nope, no, we don't go. Still got a few bits of dry brush to do. So while we look at these final shots there, I'd just like to say thanks very much for watching. Now, you might have noticed that if you look just, if you scroll that tiny bit, just like right underneath the video, I think I got some paint stuck in that like button. So if you could just try pressing it, see if it works for us, that could be really helpful. And the subscribe button, I kind of heard that it rained the other day and that got a bit rusty. So if you want to go and sort of press that as well, just to see if that works, just when it says subscribed, that means it's worked. How else would you know? So if you could let me know what you think of the project in the comments below, that would be great. Let us know if the like and subscribe button are working as well. Okay, thanks.